Hi everyone, it's Kelsey here, and today I've got another video for my embellishment series. So this has a lot of experimenting in this video. I have not actually embossed on vellum before, but I saw this technique in a video and I decided why not just pull out a bunch of stamps and try a bunch of different stuff all at once. So I did. And I just used this vellum from Michaels, and it was actually part of like the Hot Buys, I think is what they called it, where it's like 8.5 by 11 sheets of patterned paper, or vellum in this case, for $5. And I honestly had no idea how it was going to work. I've printed on it, so I know that it worked well with printing, but I wasn't sure how embossing was going to go. But one thing I know about heat embossing on vellum is to heat it from the back side so it warps less. And I have to say, it didn't warp very much at all. So I was really happy about that. But one major problem that I had was the stamps want to slip on that vellum. So you have to be careful I don't want to say press down firmly, but you have to be careful not to let it slide around. And it takes some practice, I have to admit, and some of the stamps work better than others. And this was also harder to get some detail on some of the things. Like whenever I first started out and I saw that camera, the camera just did not turn out as detailed as I wanted it to. So I was like, is this even going to work? And I was going to cut part of it out of the video, but I decided not to because I wanted you guys to see, honestly, the level of success that I had. So as you can see there, my vellum must have been a little bit sticky, so embossing powder stuck on that label. And that didn't work. And then this happened. I think that this happened was just too detailed. And then, of course, it missed. I think it slid a little bit. And I didn't get embossing powder all over. But I just kept on going. And I think if I wouldn't have been making a video of it, if I would have just stuck with one type of stamp, I could have, done a bunch of them. And I would have stuck with like one color probably. But I just wanted to experiment with different colors and see how they all looked on vellum and show you guys how they all kind of came out. And I did have some good things come out, and I had some success with a lot of them, and I do have my own personal favorites, so you guys can kind of see as I go what works and what doesn't. But I do really love the way the label turned out. The good one, not the smudgy one, but I really love that black crisp label on the vellum, and I'm definitely going to be making a ton of those. Or maybe I'll print some of the labels out that you get with, like, the Studio Calico classes. Maybe I'll print some of those out on vellum because it looked really cool, but I really like that embossed line around it. And then this stamp, it came out a little bit better in person, but not by a whole lot. If you didn't know that it said hey, you probably wouldn't pick up on it, so that's one bummer about that one. But I think I could have worked with it a little bit more. And one great thing about embossing on vellum is when you go to cut it out, it's really easy to cut out because it's got that little raised edge and that little bit of texture to it, so you can really just kind of cut along the edge of that embossing powder, so it's really easy to cut out, which is always a big bonus. And if any of you guys watch Ashley Laura's videos, that's where I got this idea for the triangles. I love that stamp set, and I loved her gold embossing powder, so that's totally her idea, but I loved it, so I'm going with it. And you can see some of my favorite vellum embellishments in a photo over on my blog. There's a link down below the subscribe button, so you can hop on over to my blog and see some detail shots. So thanks so much, guys.